Season 33 has started with a banger, from new items to tons of adjustments, and I know you all must be really confused about the latest shift in meta. Which hero is weak, which hero is strong, so many confusions. But worry not, your senpai is here. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we are going to tackle the meta and will recommend some heroes which will help you carry in solo rank. For this video, we have carefully curated our list by taking our time to consider each hero's recent adjustments, ban rate, and overall strength. First, let's begin with the honorable mentions. With high mobility, burst damage, and early game carry potential, Fanny is truly the honored one. If you know how to play her, then she can be the biggest nightmare for all the MMs and mages who dare to cross her path, with little to no counters. Yeah, I agree that some heroes like Kufra, Mincy and Phobius might counter her, but if you are an experienced Fanny user, you should know when or where not to pick her. So this is why we are keeping her in honorable mentions, just because of her difficulty level. Unlike our next hero, Fredrin. Since the day he was released, Fredrin has always been in meta. He was considered one of the safest picks. His high HP, crowd control capabilities, and the burst damage from his ultimate, which comes quite unexpectedly, he is also a really good option for solo rank ups. The only reason Fredrin is not on the main list is that he was nerfed, but Temporal Rain is here to mitigate it. He just couldn't make it to the list because he's not in the same position as he was before, and also the meta has shifted significantly. And in times when we have items like Sky Piercer, I would recommend you to pick heroes with burst capabilities and who can also maintain distance. Just like our next honorable mention, Brody. Brody is exceptionally formidable in the early game, often regarded as one of the most powerful marksmen at both level 1 and level 4. With adept positioning and mastery of his passive abilities, a single shot from his first skill through minions can pierce through any enemies, followed by his ultimate and Sky Piercer can swiftly eliminate most gold laners. His early game dominance sets him apart from other marksmen, allowing skilled players to assert lane control with ease. After the revamp she received, Luno has gotten more popularity. Burst damage that pierces through the armor and skill which makes you invulnerable, Lunox is the mage if you want high damage with survivability. You will have to know her basic combos and you can also do plays like these. One thing is important, that you will need to understand her passive, which state to use where. She is not your typical one-tap mage, needs practice to unlock her true potential, but if you can do that, it is very good option to climb up rank. And our final honorable mention is Joy. Since after her release, Joy has a fan favorite, whether it be M series or normal rank mage. The little cute Leonian had the potential to do 1 vs 3, but after the countless nerfs and adjustments along with the removal of her CC immunity, slowly she has been removed from the meta. At a time she was third most picked hero, but now barely anyone plays her. She is still not bad, it's just there are better options. And that's what we gonna discuss in our list. So guys, let's move on to our first hero from the list, Hayabusa. After being in obscurity for the past 2 seasons, Hayabusa has finally emerged into the spotlight, and it seems he is here to stay. With recent buffs to his first skill increasing its damage, a reduced cooldown on his second skill, and adjustment to defense items alongside the introduction of new offensive items, Hayabusa has received the boost he desperately needed. Currently he strikes a perfect balance between power and effectiveness, avoiding frequent bans, while maintaining a decent win rate of 54.30%. This makes him an excellent choice for players looking to carry their team. He might not be the easiest assassin to play, but you can still master him if you practice a little, because learning this hero is not that tough and the result is blissful. Use this build and emblems to shred your enemies into pieces. but some of you might still have difficulties learning him, so here is second hero from our list who is easy to play as deadly as he is on the battlefield, Arman. We are truly in the era of assassins with destructive capabilities that can make even tanks shed their pants. Arman moves through battles like a breeze. Just give him a few matches and you are good to pick him in the rank. Without relying on flashy movesets or complex combos, Arman's straightforward yet deadly moves are easy to master. After just a few matches, you will be confident enough to pick him in ranked matches. The new item Sky Piercer plus Arman is just perfect for that sweet execution. Since you are strong from the early game, you utilize the full potential of that item fairly easily. One of the Arman's few drawbacks is his lack of direct dash ability, which can leave him vulnerable to being caught out of position. Mastery of when to engage and when to retreat is crucial for maximizing his effectiveness on the battlefield. However, with a modest investment of time and experience, players can quickly learn to navigate this challenge. Use this build and emblem for the havoc you're gonna make. Now let's change the pace a bit and talk about a hero who has always been strong but got a special boost this season, Clint. Clint is a marksman who can eliminate opponents before they even realize the threat. The crazy damage from his passive combined with Temporal Rain emblem makes him exceptionally deadly. In the early game, particularly at level 1, all you need to do is connect your first skill, then retreat slightly. With just 2 to 3 hits of your first skill, you can force your enemies back to their base. Clint's long range attacks and wide AoE makes him stand out among other marksmen. Additionally, his second skill can immobilize enemies when properly aimed, providing a strategic advantage. When engaging in fights, if you find yourself facing fewer enemies, you can take down anyone other than a tank with the well-executed combination of your first skill, followed by its passive and ultimate, and finishing with Sky Piercer. Mastering Clint's abilities will allow you to dominate the battlefield with precision and power. However, there are few limitations to keep in mind. Clint's objective-seeking abilities aren't as strong as some other marksmen. He struggles to take down lords or clear minions in the late game compared to heroes like Moskov or Mia. While leveraging Clint's strength and remaining mindful of his limitations, you can effectively carry your team to victory. This is the build and emblem which can help you to do so. Guys, as I told you, many heroes who were underdogs in previous seasons have gotten a chance to shine in this one. The next hero on our list follows this trend. A mage who was once reduced from the overpower tier to the no power tier. Of course, I'm talking about Zask. To be honest, I really like Zask, and that's why I am pleased to see him back in relevancy again. The recent adjustments and the soft revamp he received have transformed him into a deadly mage. Zask excels with his continuous burst damage, the ability to become invulnerable for a few seconds, and his nightmaric spawn that continues to fight even after his death. These traits make Zask an excellent hero for solo carrying. You can safely take objectives and deal significant damage while maintaining a safe distance. The combination of the revamped glowing wand and wishing lantern just helped him rise up in the current meta. Well, if we are talking about meta, how can we forget the most banned hero, Ling? Ling is one of the best heroes that you can play right now to carry your team. It is really easy to roam around the map and get kills here and there. And your ultimate is one of the best skills in the game. It also comes with a knock-up and can make you invulnerable. Here's a tip: you can predefine where your swords will land by aiming your ultimate skill, but still the hero has some drawbacks. The issue with the Ling is that while he's fantastic hero in a solo queue, he still is a buff dependent hero. So that gives him a drawback and limits his true potential. Aside from that, Ling also requires a lot of practice to fully master. While he isn't as difficult to play as Fanny, managing his energy and connecting his swords after his ultimate does require significant practice and skill. These are the builds and emblems. While assassins are impressive, solo queue demands heroes who are self-sufficient and don't rely heavily on buffs. Our next hero fits this description perfectly. Excelling as a mid laner, EXP laner or jungler, yes, of course we are talking about Julian. Julian also is one of the chosen one who got the spotlight in this season and he is doing great. With high burst damage, no curves and the ability to get invulnerable, Julian is making chaos in the rank. His enhanced first skill followed by his passive basic attack and Sky Piercer can sometimes even shred tanks apart. If you are taking him as a side laner, then use the spell Petrify for setup, which will put your enemies in a state of shock and sorrow with no hope of recovering. He's also not that difficult to learn, being arguably one of the easiest heroes to learn. Guys, there aren't any reason not to play this hero, so pick him whenever you can. Just use your skill wisely and according to the situations. All of his skills have their own uses and advantages, and that is what you need to understand before you start using him to his full potential. But still, I am really happy to see my boy into the meta. Use this build for total domination. Just like our new hero, which was considered as a troll pick for the longest time, Yin. If you are a mage or marksman, you know damn well that you need to make distance from this hero, because in the early game you would have little to no chance of getting out of his domain alive. If the Yin player is even a little experienced, Yin is the perfect pick for the solo queue as his core concept is doing 1v1. Remember, you are strong from the get-go just to level 4 and praying. Always prioritize mages and MMs. In the early games, it should be fairly easy to kill them.
Killing spree.
While Yin may not maintain the same efficiency in the late game team fights due to the potential interruptions of his ultimate, his ability to initiate fights effectively can still result in easily dispatching any opponent. If you are a side laner, then you can just ultimate on the enemy jungler for your jungler to get the free objectives. These are the builds and emblems to help you carry your games.
An enemy has been slain.
Talking about troll pick, how can we forget the TikTok god Chiao? With the new revamped passive and the buff in his first skill, you can one-shot anyone with the simplest combo. He has burst damage, CC immunity, and as his ultimate, what else you could ask for? His damage is so high that sometimes you won't even get the chance to use your full combo before you kill someone. And not only that, your first skill range has also been increased, so it will be harder to catch him. Most of the time, you can cut the lane in level 1 depending on your opposing laner. Then you can go straight to invade because of your high mobility and damage. It's always the best idea to disrupt the enemy farm if you wanna win in a solo queue. Since you are not that tanky, it is always the right decision to play smartly. These are the builds and emblems for Chiao. Now let's move on to Teris, which is our next hero. Unlike Chiao, who have high mobility and burst damage, Teris is more of the sustain type who can absorb damage like a sponge. His second skill now packs a more devastating punch, dealing increased damage that can give damage and also help him sustain. Teris can now unleash his onslaught more frequently, turning team fights in his team's favor. Despite his intimidating presence, Teris is also an early game hero since the enemy marksman can kill him pretty easily. So for that, use Flicker Ultimate for surprising initiation and ask your team to target MMs. With practice, players can harness his power to lead their team to victory. His win rate reflects his newfound strength, sitting comfortably at a respectable 54.33%. For players looking to dominate the battlefield with a hero that strikes fear into enemies, Teris is an excellent choice. Use this build and emblems to dominate the battlefield. Meanwhile, Pakito has risen as a force to be reckoned with. Pakito embodies the perfect balance of agility and devastating blows. His ability to weave in and out of combat with precision has made him a nightmare for opponents. Pakito's straightforward yet deadly moveset allows players to grasp his mechanics quickly. His ability to deal damage while remaining mobile ensures that he can dictate the flow of battles, making him an invaluable asset in ranked games. Whether you are diving into the fray or retreating to regroup, Pakito's versatility shines through. For those looking to capitalize on Pakito's strength, the introduction of new offensive items Sky Piercer has further amplified his capabilities, enhances his already potent execution abilities, ensuring that enemies fall swiftly before his onslaught. Next on the list, we have Audit. Guys, after many adjustments, changes and nerfs, Audit is finally good now. She doesn't need Johnson anymore. She got the same CC immunity, so her ultimate is really hard to cancel. Also, if you make a Winter Crown with her, it is just illegal. She also got the big ass shield whenever she used her ultimate, so killing her is not that easy. So you might be thinking that you can just run, but not too soon because of her unexpected stun from her second skill. Aside from that, the radius of her is also massive. Because of these reasons, Audit is a really promising pick to solo rank up. Use this build and emblem so that you can continue your dance of death without any interruption. Roger has always been an OP pick, whether you talk about Gold Roger, EXP Roger or Jungle Roger. He stands as a testament to the game's depth and strategic diversity. Mastering his dual nature and optimizing his build allows players to unleash his full potential as a relentless predator on the battlefield. For those seeking a hero capable of adapting to any situation and securing victories through sheer strength and agility, Roger is a definitive choice. While Roger boasts formidable offensive capabilities, he must be mindful of his vulnerability in human form and positioning in wolf form. Smart engagement and disengagement strategies are essential for surviving and thriving with Roger on the battlefield. Despite these challenges, mastering Roger rewards players with unparalleled versatility and impact in matches. His win rate reflects his potential in skill hands, making him a popular choice among players. Use this build and emblem to play like a beast. Next on the list, we have Zavier, our third and final member from 4 Second Squad. Sorry, Melissa. Zavier is a great mage with good CC and high damage, but he truly starts to bloom at late game. He has a good clearing speed and a burst damage which you won't see coming, and he can literally two-shot you. He has always been a good pick, but after the recent buff, he is truly a monster. So if it ever gets to the late game, you can count on him to carry you. These are the builds and emblems. Next, let's give our new hero Zuzin a spot too, because honestly, she is pretty broken. Unlike some other mages, she can't burst you. Instead, she has an unique passive which can be lethal for the team if played properly. This is one of the few mages you don't wanna chase. With high mobility and unique passive, she can pick you and throw towards your victory. In early game, just use your second skill wisely and try not to spam it, and you are good to go. Use this build and emblem to lift your win rate. And last but not the least, we have Luo. Luo stands as a testament to the game's depth and tactical diversity. Mastering her dimensional abilities and optimizing her build allows players to unlock her full potential, as her burst damage and CC is really good. You just need to understand the usability of her skills and where and when to use her ultimate. Strategic positioning and awareness of enemy movements are essential for maximizing her impact and survivability in team fights. To optimize Luo Yi's performance, focus on building items that amplify her magic power and cooldown reduction. So guys, what do you think about this list? Are there any more hidden gems that we forgot about? Share your thoughts and opinions below. That will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.